Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Soul Goals Podcast. My name is Dawn, and I'm so glad you're joining in today for Soul Goal number 38. This, my friends, is one called Finish the Phrase. It deals directly with positive affirmations and how we do them. I want to point out the cup, if you're watching on YouTube, that I'm drinking out of. It's been one of my husband's and I's favorite. We drink these massive cups of coffee every morning. So the bigger, the better on this coffee cup. But I love this coffee cup. It says believe, and then it's got the definition of the word believe. And I like to call this my regular dose of positive affirmation, or when I use this cup, because it's a verb, and I'm going to read it to you. To believe is to have confidence in the truth, existence, or the reliability of something, although without absolute proof that one is right in doing so. So, having faith, believe. We're going to believe today as we talk about finishing the phrase regarding positive affirmations. I have some wonderful scientific information I can give you about the benefit of positive affirmations. But first, let's discuss what it was that I did for this week. This was a 5 times this week, filling in the blanks of 5 different affirmations that I created. So let's talk about how you create an affirmation. How you do that is super important because it's about the wording. It's about keeping it present, using present tense like I am, I have. It's about being very specific and realistic for where you are and what it is that you're looking at in your life. It's also about keeping things positive and avoiding the negatives. Phrases like I am not. We don't want to put I am not. We want to put I am, right? You want to be positive about it. And it's repeating them regularly. Daily is best, but you know what? We all fall off the wagon. And for me, I know there's plenty of days, plenty of weeks, plenty of months where I'm like, you know what? Affirmation, smaffirmation. I got way too many other fish in the sea and way too many things in the frying pan that I got to take care of. So that's the first thing that goes. That's self-care. Another reason for doing this podcast and for undertaking these exercises and these opportunities for personal growth for each week of this year to grow in our soul goals. So this is another opportunity for us to do that. I am inviting you to give this a go 5 different times throughout the course of a week to start to create a habit. And, you know, we talk about creating habits. It's really easy to create some bad habits. I know it's really hard to break the bad habits and come out and say, all right, I'm going to do this, make that conscious choice. Because once a habit becomes ingrained, it's almost like it's a part of our wiring. Hey, I think that's a scientific proof that it does. Habits become a part of us. They become such a huge piece of our DNA after we've done them for so long that it's not impossible to stop the habit. It's just really hard to take the first step to say, I'm choosing to do something different. Whew, that's a lot. All right, let me back up. Let's go back to finish the phrase. The 5 affirmations that I wrote, and I'd love it if you take these and adopt them as your own. I did 5 different affirmations 5 different times this week where I wrote them out in my journal. And I did it at night because for me, wrapping down the end of the day when everybody's in bed in my house and I have the house to myself, it's quiet. I don't have people chattering in the background. I don't have TVs or music going. I don't have dogs barking at me. Everybody's asleep. I kind of have the place to myself. That's when I kind of go inward and go, yeah, all right, this is my contemplative moment for my day. So the 5 phrases that I chose were I breathe in, and then I filled in the blank. I exhale blank. So I breathe in confidence. I exhale doubt. That's a great example. The next one was I release blank and I embrace blank. So I could say the same thing. I release anxiety and I embrace confidence. The next one was today I choose to be blank. All right, so this is a funny one because like you could choose to be, you could say many things. Like I choose to be a superhero today. Not that we're going to change who we are and become Superman or Wonder Woman, but today I choose to be blank. So for me, today I choose to be kind. right? Today, I choose to be present. The next affirmation was, I am deserving of blank. Hmm. How hard is that for us to think that we are deserving of something? I know our culture tends to tell us that we don't deserve it. Our experiences tend to tell us we don't deserve it, whether it's relationship, whether it's kindness, whether it's compassion. And all of it starts right here with us and believing that we are deserving of, good things. We are deserving of positives in our world. It's got to start with our belief and it's got to start with us making that concerted effort. So I am deserving of acceptance. That's what I wrote. I am deserving of acceptance. And my last powerful affirmation that I wrote for this week 5 different times was, I have the power to blank. Hmm. Again, this is a double edged sword. We could write a lot of different things in here. I have the power to choose happiness. That's what I wrote. I have the power to choose happiness, even in the light of darkness and in the light of frustrations and in the light of challenges. I still have the power to choose happiness. It doesn't have to be much, it can be a little bit, but I have that power. So, those were my 5 affirmations that I used for the week. And really going to tell you that it was hard. It was hard. And here's the thing for me with affirmations, I believe them, I totally follow it, I get it. And scientifically, I'm going to read all that stuff to you here in a second. But man, how difficult is it for us to go, I deserve that, without feeling corny or goofy? I know, gosh, there was um, an old Saturday Night Live skit, dating myself here, and it was a funny character that used to say, and doggone it, people like me. I thought, there's the beginning of affirmations. It's not about affirming that you are a well liked person, but it's about affirming that you have the ability to be out there. You have the ability to find acceptance. You have the ability to be accepted. You have the ability to choose. You have the ability to express. You are capable of doing X, Y, or Z. But it's got to start right here. I think the hang up for us is the understanding that it's got to start right here. So, what did I learn through all this? Well, I learned that I love affirmations, but that it's really hard to make a choice to do it because it feels corny. It feels kind of fake a lot of times. I had a therapist in a group setting one time say, you got to fake it till you make it. Right. And I've heard numerous different people say, I don't really buy that adage. And I totally understand that. You have to believe it and you have to reinforce it to make it. So, faking it till you make it is one way to put that stuff into action, just going through the motions, because there is, again, a scientific rewiring of your brain after you do something for so long. Like, you creating a bad habit, you can also create a good habit. Yeah, but instinctively rather, our brains go to the negative before they go to the positive. So that's it's a hard one for me, right? I also get easily distracted. I work out of my home space in my home studio, so when I come out of a session, I can do my laundry. I can Swiffer the floors. I can do a lot of things, which is great. So I have that space in my schedule, but when I have the time to sit down and journal and really do some self reflection, it's hard for me to do that because I can find a million other things that I want to do or that I divert myself from doing the piece that really will fill me up and make me a better contributor to the people in my world. Because that's really what this is all about. It's about making ourselves the best version of ourselves that we can be, exercising our soul goals in that capacity. Affirmations are, that helps. It's a part of the process. So I want to let you know that as the week went on, I felt better doing it. I didn't feel as corny or as fake. And for me, I kept those phrases the same. I kept the responses the same. Every time I did it, I wrote the same words. I said the same words, the same remarks that I had created. So I wasn't changing the affirmation. I was repeating the same script that I had written 5 times each day. And by, I'd say, the fourth time near the end, it was like, all right, I feel like this is a possibility. And if I keep going, it's going to become a little bit more ingrained and it's going to be more believable for me. Um, I really like, okay, so if you know me, and if you don't know me, now you're going to know me. I love, I love sports documentaries. I love sports figures and following them and listening to their stories and how they overcame different things and what it is that they do to keep themselves in the game and what the mentality behind their sport is, what the emotion behind their sport is, even more than the physicality. I think it's such an interesting component to how those athletes function and how they're wired. And one of my favorite athletes is George Kittle for the San Francisco 49ers. Is that 49ers? Yeah, San Francisco. He plays for San Francisco. But George Kittle follows this wonderful affirmation. And you can see him on the sidelines, like talking to himself. You can see him as he's warming up, breathing in positivity, breathing out doubt. And he's even gone on record to say that this is a big piece for him. It's a huge piece for his game. It benefits him. And it's almost like a visualization piece. So if we're talking about affirmations to the next step, it can then snowball into many different situations, like the visualization for an athlete. It's huge, huge. I will tell you one of my very favorite things about affirmations are these wonderful cards. This is a big old shout out to Louise Hay and Hay House, HayHouse, Hay House. I love these decks. I'm holding them up right now. It is Power Thought Cards by Louise Hay. And the new ones I just got is Louise Hay, How to Love Yourself cards. These are decks of 64 affirmations. When you open them up, these wonderful cards pop out. And instinctively, I love to just grab one each day and know that my soul is going to tell me exactly what it is I need to know. Okay, this is what I need to know today. I accept all of myself. That's the card I drew. The work I do on myself is not a goal. It is a process, a lifetime process. I choose to enjoy the process. Oof, right? We're never done. We are never done working. We're never done growing. It's the process. It's not a goal. It's an ongoing process. So let's talk a little bit more about what these positive affirmations do. Right? It shifts your negative thought patterns. Yes, 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 it does. May take a minute, but it'll do it. It also builds self-confidence and self-esteem. And I want to discuss that for just a second before I go on to the next little tidbit. There's a struggle a lot of us have with the ego and feeling like I am allowed to talk positively about myself, because if I do, what I've been taught or what's been programmed in me is that that's not okay, because then I'm being egoic and I'm being condescending and I'm being holier than thou or on a high horse. It's not about being condescending. It's not about being egoic. It's about serving that instinct inside of yourself to be a positive individual that can contribute to other people by starting where it begins, which is inside of you, and believing that you have capability, you have awareness, you have all of the wonderful things that it takes to contribute in this world and to be a wonderful human being that can do so many wonderful things. Um, Sounds corny, I know, totally does. But building self confidence and self esteem in our day and age is something that I think a lot of us struggle with, especially when we get into those points where it's a trigger, where it's a hard piece, where we've never been able to get past point C, D, or E, right? So, knowing that, please understand that the ego struggle is a real thing, but that you deserve self confidence and you deserve to feel good about what it is that your gifts are, what it is that you bring to your family, what it is that you bring to your workforce, what it is that you bring to the greater good of the world. All right, enough on that one. Self affirmations also clarifies your goals and intentions rather. Clarity creates clarity about what it is that you want, who it is that you are choosing to be, and if there's a shift that needs to happen. Whoa, yeah, it brings a lot of stuff to the surface that then we have to deal with. And I think a lot of times we don't deal with it because opening up Pandora's box of our past can mean that it makes it real now. Unpacking stuff can be very hard, can be very traumatic. And I would never suggest you do this without professional help, because that's one of the best ways to be able to unpack serious situations. But a lot of times, so many things have been ingrained in us on an ongoing basis because of our experience in the world, that we just buy into it. And we just decide that, well, this is how it's always going to be. Until we make a conscious choice to stop that internal self talk, it's going to be incredibly difficult for us to see a shift in our abilities, to see a shift in diving into the gifts that we have and the gifts that we have been given to present to the people around us and the world around us. Like, you have a gift. You have a gift. Here I am. I'm letting you know you have a gift, and you have the ability to uncover that, and you deserve to feel engaged, plugged in, and really, really a part of that. You deserve to accept it. You deserve to have that gift accentuated out to the world around you. Totally. All right. Soapbox number 25 for the day. Oh, also, positive affirmations support emotional regulation rather. Dude, it calms the central nervous system. And I know that that's something that we can all use. I know me, my central nervous system tends to spool right up when I get under stress. So calming that down by taking these intentional times to write these affirmations out, to speak them out, to do whatever works in my world regarding positive affirmations. That's what I'm going to do. Also, it enhances resilience. Yeah, it can, it can feel fake at first, right? We've talked about that. These affirmations can feel like you're not really being honest with yourself, or it just feels goofy, right? Like, why do I want to do this? This feels silly. But after a certain period of time, there's a really interesting scientific shift that happens. So here we go. I'm going to let you know what those scientific backed data is about self affirmations and positive affirmations. First of all, it activates your brain reward center. So this is a key study using fMRI scans. It showed that self affirmation activates the brain's reward circuitry, particularly the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. Easy for me to say. So it's activating circuitry in your brain. And this area is involved in positive valuation and self related processing. So basically, it's suggesting that affirmations can change how we perceive ourselves and our experiences. It's in the brain, it's rewiring. Another thing is that it reduces stress and defensiveness. Ooh, that's a mic drop for me. Stress and defensiveness for me. So, research shows that affirmations can buffer stress. This is a study that was published in Psychological Science. It found that self affirmations reduce cortisol response, which is a stress hormone, guys, and defensive behavior, especially during threatening or high pressure situations. So, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that during an intense situation that hits you, the first thing you're going to do is go, oh, let me repeat my positive affirmations. No, it's about doing the work when you're not under that stress, so that when you are under that stress, the brain circuitry that we just talked about can then go, ooh, I recognize this. I'm going to send this signal out instead of this huge central nervous system combustible situation. And it's going to give you a little bit more access to staying calm and buffering that stress, like that psychological science that published is telling us that it's doing. Also, guys, it improves problem solving under pressure. Here we go. Affirmations appear to enhance cognitive flexibility and working memory. Who doesn't need working memory? I know I do. My kids will tell you that. And number 4, it supports health behavior change. So here's a good one. Studies have found that affirmations increase the likelihood of engaging in healthy behaviors, healthy habits, like quitting smoking, exercising, improving diet. Those are just general things that we all want in our life, right? We want that health. But it enhances your self-worth and reduces resistance to health messages, reduces resistance to those messages that we are being bombarded with. Yeah. Maybe then you can buy into the fact that you deserve to be healthy and you deserve to have these wonderful things. Hmm. Also increases self integrity and goal alignment. Self affirmations help maintain a sense of self integrity. Who doesn't want self integrity? I know I do. Yeah. So, in closing, kids, let's draw another card. This one's going to be from the Power Thought Cards deck. This is the Louise Hay. This is a different one. I'm going to grab one of these out. Okay. Ah, wow. This one says, freedom is my divine right. I am free to think wonderful thoughts. Ooh. I move beyond past limitations into freedom. I am now becoming all that I am created to be. All right, kids, you are becoming all that you are created to be. You are free to think wonderful thoughts. You can move beyond past limitations into freedom. Again, you are becoming all that you are created to be. And realizing that the work you do on yourself is not a goal, but it's a process, a lifetime process. I choose to enjoy the process. Yes. All right. On that, guys, I challenge you to take these wonderful affirmations, make your own, make them positive, journal on them 5 times this next week. See what that activates in you. See where the challenges are for you. Acknowledge them, and then understand that if I keep doing this and I keep this positive work happening, that eventually that rewiring is going to happen and you're going to get a little bit of a kick. And even just a little bit of light in a dark room sheds some new perspective on the world. Keep that in mind, guys. Until next time, I am Dawn, and I'm so glad you joined us. Get out there, because everyone has a story and every story matters. So let's make our stories count.